Hello everybody. We're here today at Albion Library to launch our books. My name is Nekme Obasoge, and today I'm launching my second book titled Benin Warriors and the British Colonial Rule in Nigeria. This book is about the military might of the ancient Benin Kingdom, especially the Benin warriors in the ancient times. How the Benin warriors incorporated spirituality into the logistics of warfare. During the punitive expedition in Benin, the British punitive expedition in Benin, the Benin warriors at that time also incorporated spirituality through the process of charms and other spiritual methods to fight the British. So this book encompasses the British punitive expedition in Benin, the history of Benin, the advent of the Europeans to Benin, right from the late 15th century. So when Benin was colonized by Britain in 1897. So I will stop here where I will allow my professor to present her book. She's also presenting her Edo language book. So go ahead.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. You are welcome to the second segment of today's activities. We started by hosting the Nigerian youths in America, where Lady Nekpe Obasoge was able to talk about the history of Benin and a lot of other topics we addressed. It was a very good event. That one started at 11 o'clock and we finished at 1. This second segment is where we are officially launching my book, which is titled Unu Nozedo Kere Ebu Nozedo. That's the book. We present it to you. Take it. Unu Nozedo Kere Ebu Nozedo. We are so glad to be launching this book today. So grab your copies. We have already uploaded it online in Amazon. Yes, we're just waiting to do the official launching before you can read it on Amazon. The title of the book again is Unu Nozedo Kere Ebu Nozedo. So if I want to do the literary translation, I will just say Unu Nozedo is the mouth that speaks Edo language, and the white man that speaks Edo language. So let me quickly just say a little about the book before I go into the proper book review. I'm going to be reviewing this book myself because Edo language is a very complex language, and if you don't know or you don't understand the diacritics, it will be very difficult for you to review an Edo book that was not written by you. We are launching this book at Albion Library in Toronto. We opted to use the library to launch the book because it's not a party, it's not a music concert, but we're in an academic environment. We opted to use the library so that people can be able to know that Edo language book will soon be on the shelf, either in the library or in the home library, general library, or whatever. So before I start, I'll quickly do a small song before I go extensively to talk about the book. The book also has a subtitle that says Learning Edo Language with Ease, or Learn Edo Language with Ease. So before I start, I will quickly do a song that says Kukusa is not allowed because we're in the library, and we are so grateful that Albion Library gave us this main big book to do our book launching. So now I will go straight again to sing the special song for my mom that says like this. So basically, This book was written during the COVID. I decided to launch this book this time because I didn't want to launch the book during COVID. I didn't want anything visual. I didn't want the situation whereby people will be watching me just online and I won't be able to do in person. That's why I came to the library and they said 2 o'clock people will be here to view me and we have a lot of audience here. I'm so grateful. So now, this particular book, this was what I wanted. If you look at the cover, I was wearing beads, a lot of beads. So Edo people were synonymous with beads. I mean, we are very oriented with culture and everything. So now, I decided to launch this book this time because I wanted to showcase my rich cultural heritage. As you can see, we are all wearing our beads, wearing our royal things and all of that. This was what I wanted. I wanted those in Alberta, those in Ontario, those in Vancouver, foreigners, aboriginals, everybody to see our rich culture. I tell you something, since we go to the library, people have been asking us, where are you from? Why are you dressed like this? Oh, you guys must be royal. This is what I wanted. At least everybody in the library today, they have known about Benin history, they have known about Edo language book, they have known about my language, they have known about my culture, they have known about my cultural heritage. So thank you to Adesua, and then thank you to Mrs. Ewoma, a big thank you to Nekme Obasoge, and a big thank you to Diron, who is the cameraman here. Who is the cameraman here. So this book actually, I will start by reading the description at the back. So about the book, Edo people have a monarchical kingdom headed by the Oba of Benin. Edo language is the mother tongue spoken by the Benin/Edo ethnic southern minority group in Benin Kingdom, Edo State, Nigeria, West Africa. It is our first language. Edo language is our first language. English language is our second language, or lingua franca, because we were British colony. In this book, I did some expose on Edo language, bearing in mind the beautiful cultural heritage, our values, beliefs, traditions of the indigenous people. This book cuts across the vowels, consonants, diacritics as they affect the pronunciations and syllables of Edo language words. Also, we have the circumstances surrounding our names, adjectives, poems, short stories, comprehension, and writing a research paper in Edo language. We're all covered. So in this particular book, we have some topics that were covered, and then the other topics will be in the book too. So here we have 10 chapters. We have 10 chapters. We started by talking about our Edo voice. But I will start first by showing you the first page.
Oh, wait.
So this is the first page. When you open the book, you see the first page. We have our royal father, the Oba of Benin, Oba His Royal Majesty, Omonoba Nedu, Uku Akpolopolo, Oba Ewari, the second CFRO, Oba of Benin. I'm sure you all be waiting for me to say this that is written at the top. We the Benin people, we don't say it. We don't say it until we're about to end our speech. So please, that is the first lesson you are learning today. Nobody should use these terms. People come on, they want to talk, they just start hailing our Oba. It's not allowed. You only use this at the end of your sentence. So if you go to the second page, I have my own. This one, please help me with the other one. I have scroll up by here. So the second page is still my photo that is there. Yes. This one is easier for me to flip. So the second page. So I will go straight to before I go to the table of contents, I will go straight to read this first page after the photo. It says, it has been a slow, fast, exhausting, emotionally fatiguing, stressful year. The aftermath of a pandemic is in most countries and a full-on lockdown in others. You have been reminiscing, thinking and soliloquizing, looking for ways to learn further or even teach your kids about the Edo language. You ask yourself, why aren't there a lot of resources or helpful learning materials for our mother tongue? So I need my glasses. Yes, tell me about this one. So at this one, I will be spelling letter E using cowries. Oh, a big O. A big O. So now we are using shells, snails, cowries, beads, bone of horse tail. Still not big enough. Spread it. This one I'll put it in the. So this cable has a diacritic. So now we are going to put a bead under here to show the diacritic. Okay. Can you see it? Dylan, finish your drink and come and learn how to spell Edo here. Okay? Come and join me. So now, give Ebu plus Edo. So we are spelling letter Z like this.
I need more. Letter Z. Yes. Z. But I need more.
Okay. Don't use the snail, just use the shells. I will move to your cocoa and the box it's when I finish.
I need more.
No, leave it there. We are moving
Okoko hair dough from the ancient Benin Kingdom.
Yes.
So you see how it's been designed. So beautiful. And this okoko is popularly worn by the king's wives.
What's this?
The queens in the palace. Right? So we'll come back again to explain more about this okoko.
So this bead will be the diacritic. So you put the bead under there. That's the diacritic. So we are doing letter D. We are listing the shell. Here. To you. So I was still talking about the dedication. And I want to quickly use this opportunity to talk about our youths who are fond of buying 100 naira, 200 naira, 500 naira recharge card. And then they will start making fun of our traditions. Please, if you don't know about our tradition, you don't know the values, and you don't know the cultural heritage, please find time to sit down with your parents, sit down with elderly people to give you the true story. I want to quickly give you one example that happened when I was young. When we were young, the present Oba was still a prince. He came to our house to visit my brother, late Prince Olu Eweka. He just came back from abroad then. So when the present Oba came to our house, that excitement, we all ran out to come and greet him, to come and see him. You mean the prince is here? So when we came out, after greeting him, my mom gave us signals we should come. So we thought she's calling us to come and go and give food to the present Oba. So we followed her and we said, oh, where is the food, where is the drink? My mom quickly told us there that the prince does not eat outside. But the reason why she was calling us in, we can sit around him, but when he's ready to go, we should disappear. We said, how? He said there is a way to greet the prince. I'm talking about the present Oba Ewari when he was a prince. He came to our house, he was about to go. We all had to go and hide in our rooms because my mom spoke one long Bini, one long Edo language 10 that we couldn't practice it and we are not ready to say it. He said, you don't tell the prince good night. You don't tell him Okyowe. You don't tell him Okianzekme. So I am just using English to start off this book. I'm going to switch to Edo very soon. So that thing has been in my memory, that when the prince comes to your house, especially the crown prince, you don't tell them good night, you don't tell them Okianzekme, don't tell them see you later. So we went to hide. Only my mom stayed back to bid him a goodbye. I can't even remember the bid. She said it long like this. I don't know what she was saying. That's by the way said. So if the present Oba, when he was a prince, came to my house, my mother told us to go and hide because we don't know how to greet him when he's going. It is only my brother, Prince Olu Eweka, that followed him to the car, and they did all their discussion and they left. And that my brother, the main reason why I'm dedicating this book to him, he was the only CBN staff wearing coral bead on top of his suit. He left CBN as Director Foreign Exchange and now opened his private company called Cross Royal at Bode Thomas. That is the only reason I'm dedicating this book to that my brother, Prince Olu Eweka. If you are looking for him in CBN, you don't know his name, just ask that prince that is wearing bead on top of white man's suit. If it is this current dispensation, my brother will wear white cloth with him to CBN. And nobody will stop him because it was on my radio that gave him the job. Himself, Niyi Akenzwa, and Deji Akenzwa. So for that single reason, if he had worked CBN for 30 years, he was wearing coral bead on his suit. I dedicate this book to him. So we go for this one will be difficult for me, knowing the using the one of this one. So I'll quickly read the acknowledgement. I'm not going to do the chapters like this, but the acknowledgement and all that, I have to do it like this. So the acknowledgement, I must start by thanking my fantastic husband, General Adamu Asim Yusuf, retired. He has always supported and stood by me through every idea, every invention, every project, and every dream I have embarked on. To my oldest daughter, Omokbano Seoyi, she's one child that is more than 100. My first fruit, who has contributed intellectually to making this book a success. From reading the early drafts to giving me advice on the cover, the editing, and adding graphic design elements. to my younger daughters, Halima and Rekia, for helping me type out some chapters. They shared it. She shared it for them. You type chapter 1. Halima type chapter 2. Rekia type chapter 3. Fahad type chapter 4 and 5. It was deliberate. She's trying to put in them what I have put in her. So, to my younger daughters, Halima and Rekia, for helping me type out some chapters, I say thank you. To take the edge off me, to my ever-loving and supportive son, Fahad, for always rooting for me. And of course, my very handsome grandson, Marco, Monabiesi, Ijeme, Ne Okeduwa me, my Osasere. I have known joy, but nothing quite compares to the happiness I have felt since you came into our lives. Every day is a brighter day with you. For here we say, these my children have mentioned their names. Their Edo names are Omosefe, Osamudiame, Abieyuwa, Kilevi, and Itoha. While my grandson's name is, Edo name is Osasere. So, we'll just go straight into the 10 chapters. The first one, the first chapter. That's the result. Okay. So, why we say what be to her? What baby nigga can tell me Ebena ni mati ununozedo kere ebunozedo ma ho na mewe na madonna na mado viebena la dia kipia kiko kemo kodo kare ni ya soya de ni ati ni ya ni magbene yi bena ya tie ni he bena ya tie bedu he ni mati e critic no ruwe ni ono kakabo wa we oze ni mana yes one chapter 1 kini mana teach the boys menoge o mami Zuaira Doreen Osazuwa no ma Yusuf ni Oswalele ebena ihe anseti wa yedo wa yate ya ti gwazedo so kwa able where children must learn from known to unknown. When you want to teach Edo language, unfortunately, English becomes our previous knowledge. Though Edo language is our mother tongue, while English is our lingua franca, because we are British colony, we are colonized by the British people. But for you to teach Edo language successfully, you must refer to the English version because we grew up to speak English. We did all our education with English language. So for us to now learn how to read and write Edo language, for us to learn how to So for us to learn Edo language, we have to use English to teach the language. So who done it? You have it is Edo. But mommy, you know, in your memory, be my here and I see one that's a hara or poem where Ebo knows Edo, and where you may Ebo not window, or where sick cut when no one offer to work it is Edo. So we don't know if the first Edo language book was written by the white man. And that's Wesi Kotime. I am still going to do research to find out his real name and the pronunciation in the English version. Because Edo person calls it Wesi Kotime. We don't know whether it is West Lot. We don't know whether it's Westcroft. We don't know what. Say Wesi Kotime, but no one of one. So now, the chapter 1 is talking about Edo words. Edo vowels, we have 7 Edo vowels. But technically, there are 5 letters. But these 5 letters, they are just 2, that is repetition, or what the white man called tautology. So letter E appeared twice, and letter O appeared twice. So the first letter that is here, we have to treat this chapter 1 fully, because the first letter, I say letter A, is called A in English, but Edo language, we call it A. Our A is A. It is not pronounced as A. Instead, is the letter E that does not have diacritic that we pronounce as A. So it is a very complex vowel for you who is just learning. That's why we made it, and we gave it a subtitle saying that learning a Edo language with ease. And that's one of the reasons why we decided to release only 10 chapters for now. The book 2 will be released during the next Edo Language Day worldwide, which is initiated by Nekme Obasoge. So that will be August 10th and August 13th, 2024. It's going to be celebrated here in Toronto. So, but the vowels, when you say letter A, is A. So that letter A, you can find it as in Ame. Ame. That's how you will know that the letter A is pronounced as A. And in our book 2, you will see the similarities between Edo vowels and the Oro English. Because we have A in Oro English. And we have E in Oro English. The E is when you say egg. Can I have some egg? Meanwhile, the first letter there is E. And we have the E again when you say, do you know how to speak Edo language? Edo, egg, and Edo. So those will be in chapter 2. So this vowel A that says Ame, Ame, or Abe. Ame means water, Abe means knife. The second vowel is letter E without diacritic. And that letter E without diacritic is as in a Eho. Eho means ear. Eho. And that Eho is E-H-O. Where the O has diacritic. Eho. And then you also have Ekita. Ekita is dog. Those are examples of letter E without diacritic. You also have letter E, which is the third one that has diacritic. That's the third vowel. That letter E that has diacritic is Eho. Example is Eho, Ehi, or Edo. Eho means neck, Ehi means destiny, and then the fourth one is letter I. That letter I, we don't pronounce it as letter I. The vowel I is as in Inye. Inye means news. So you go straight to the fifth vowel. The fifth vowel is letter O without diacritic. That letter O without diacritic, you have it sample as Osa, Almighty God, Ode, Road. Ode. So you have the second letter O that says it has diacritic. You can find it in example like Omomo, Omomo, O-M-O-M-O, with 3 diacritics. And this last O is supposed to have a diacritic too. Omomo means baby. And then another close example for an O that has diacritic is Oba. Is Oba. Please, from now on, when you want to write Oba of Benin, remember to put a diacritic under the letter O. Oba. Oba means king. Omomo means baby. The last vowel is as in you. Like you have Uswanlele. That's my family name. Uswanlele. So that is the last vowel in the Edo language. which is the 7th vowel. That same U can mean Uwa. You can write Uwa with vowel U. It means prosperity. You can also write Uzebu. Uzebu starts with letter U. It's a family name. You can write Uzopo. Uzopo means bowl. It starts with letter U. So everything is there. We can't go on reading it page by page, but we'll just talk about it little by little. And then the next page, we're talking about diacritics. Of course, I have defined diacritics in the past. It's a sign such as an accent or cedilla, which when written above or below a letter indicates a difference in pronunciation from the same letter on month or differently. So please let me quickly use this opportunity to I will not give examples of the diacritic anymore. I will just use letter E and letter O to give example of diacritic, which we did a while ago. But this you cannot even teach it in abstract. I'm supposed to write Omo on the board here, put a diacritic under the letter O. So, but because of time, we're going to show you our illustrations, which we did with Ononazedo and Ebonozedo. So we'll go straight to the consonant. Before we go straight to the consonant, please let me quickly emphasize on this diacritic topic. Please, for your information, I know those of us who have iPhone or Android or whatever phone you have, they do not recognize Edo language. They only have Spanish language, Chinese, German, Dutch, whatever, and the Yoruba language. Edo language does not have diacritic at the top of the letters. So you guys stop writing Omonoba Nedo. There should be no diacritic at the top. Write everything in full. When you are writing Omonoba Nedo, just write NO and put a diacritic at the bottom. Edo language does not have diacritic at the top. It's Yoruba language and French language that has diacritic at the top. So if I, as an author of Edo language book, who is emphasizing on vowels, consonants, diacritics, and whatever, I am looking at the way we should write and pronounce the language. I will write Edo history with Edo language and put all the diacritic, not with English. So please, diacritic is at the bottom, not at the top. Anytime you see diacritic at the top of a letter, just know that you are writing Yoruba language or you are writing French.
I'm very concerned about what you just raised now, the point you just raised.
Yes.
On my platform, I saw that people are writing in different methods.
Yes.
Some people put the diacritic on
At the top. No.
So they put it on almost all the letters sometimes.
Very wrong.
Why some people put the subdots? That is
The
bottom,
diacritic at the bottom. Yes.
So we are still working on standardizing the Edo orthography.
Yes. Even when during the standardization.
So that we have one standard way of writing Edo language that is accepted by the majority.
Yes.
You understand? It can never be accepted by all the Edo people because right now there's a controversy over the standardization of Edo orthography. People write wherever they want. Some of them are even teaching Edo language online. They haven't been to any school before, study Edo language before. So these people are distorting the whole orthography of Edo language. We are working, even the Edo language the worldwide is something that we're going to be working with other institutions in Edo State to ensure that we standardize the Edo language orthography. It's very, very important. People write, for instance, if someone wants to write Oba Atokpe,
yes.
Oba Atokpe has so many versions. You understand
It's
it?
supposed to be one version.
Okay. So
thank you so much, Auntie Obasogi. So we'll quickly go to the chapter 2. Chapter 2 is the consonants. Like I said, Edo language has 8 consonants. We will not have time to do all the examples, so we'll just quickly run through all the chapters. So, chapter 2 is the consonant. So, when you grab your copy of the book, you will see all the illustrations that we gave there. And if you have any questions, we put them on Zudo's African level. We have the consonants and the Edo voice full lecture there. So, chapter 3, we did 3-letter words. After the 3-letter words, we have Edo singular and plural. Example of 3-letter words, they are Abe, Ada, like you have Ada Adobe. You have Eho, you have Edo, you have Ede, Dedenoki, those kind of things. Those are 3-letter words. Like you have the Queen's Premier, IT, IF, 2-letter words, 3-letter words. Singular and plural, the biggest 2 examples there, because I have 30 minutes to random. So, Ikbia and Ukbia. Ukbia is 1. Ikbia is more than 1. Singular and plural. You have Uhu and Ihu. So, we go to chapter 4. Chapter 4 is Edo syllables. That chapter 4, we wrote Ene. Chapter 1 is Owo. Chapter 2 is Eva. Chapter 3 is Iha. Chapter 4 is Ene. We have Edo syllables. The biggest example from Edo syllables is you can use names like Adesuwa. So when you want to teach syllable with Adesuwa, the ADE, you have a slant there. SU, you have a slant. WA has a slant. That's the meaning of Edo syllables. The syllables also allow you to pronounce your names and words perfectly. That's why I say this whole book is just teaching you the main basis, what you need to know. Like we use Queen's Premier in primary 1 and primary 2. So we'll go straight to chapter 5. Chapter 5 is talking about the greetings. Chapter 5 is Ise, greetings and exchange of pleasantries. So all the different families, how they greet, and what have you, they are all there. Is a full chapter. Chapter 6 is Ehan. That Ehan talks about the Edo proverbs, Edo idiomatic expressions and sentences. And the children will keep asking you mean I don't have idiomatic expression, I don't have sentences? Every language have all these details. And you need to learn these details before you start reading Edo book fully. And then the 7th chapter is Ihio. This one says some Bini first names and meanings, and then the gender implication of our names. Like when you say Sazoa, they say, oh, maybe else Sazoa. But when you no, most Benin names are unisex. Most Benin names are unisex, and the Edo people strongly believe that names have a spiritual and symbolic impact on a child's life. Thus, children's names are carefully selected, either based on circumstances surrounding their birth or just something meaningful. Most Benin names are unisex and could be assigned to any child. That's the unisex part. There is no hard and fast rule about it. Below are some names and their meanings and the genders that are typically assigned to those names. So that chapter is about 4-5 pages or more. So note, there are so much Edo names. I have chosen and selected only a few of the fan favorites to put on this list. I have reserved some space underneath so that you may add a few others. Chapter 8 is this chapter 8 is talking about bronze casting. That's our artifact. Like you can see. When was one queen in there? So this chapter 8 is talking about bronze casting. So this chapter 8, I'm going to relaunch this thing in Edmonton fully, and it will take the whole day. We'll break into sections, and then we'll have examples. Please, can you raise one of the bronze casts? Let me see. Is it showing? Oh, yes, the bronze cast. So chapter 8 is about broadcast. Then chapter 9, where's chapter 9? So this is an example of a broadcast, the one that this one brought now. That is an example of a broadcast. Then we have chapter 9 that talks about naming ceremony. And this naming ceremony is also called Izomo. So the broadcast, the Edo name is Aaron.
Please give me one.
Okay. So the Edo name is Aaron. The Edo name is Aaron. That's the name for our artifact that is bronze. And then we have chapter 9, naming ceremony, which is Izomo. So we can't talk about it here, but Izomo naming ceremony is about naming a child, a newborn child, specific day. There are things you use for it, and all of that. And that is where you think, when the father of the child finally gives the name, you will just see people singing. Jesu agwiwe diao izera de se ewere o vera diao izera de se ewere o. For example, to show to you that Edo people name children based on the circumstances surrounding their birth, we have like Okomose. Okomose means war is not beautiful. So when you hear they call somebody Okomose, it means the person was born during the war. So we also have chapter 10 that says marriage ceremony. So this marriage ceremony is a full marriage rite that is conducted by Edo people, the traditional joining of a bride and the groom together, which is we call traditional marriage. And then the last, but not the least, is the word search, Edo word search. And we also have some notes at the back where you can make attempt to spell names using the consonants. Yes, using the consonants, and private lectures you can do on your own to learn the Edo language. I think we'll bring this to an end. I want to say thank you very much, all those who have been with us online on this book launch. So it is now